people in the media are chomping at the bit. I don't think it's a Republican or Democrat. I think that the people in Washington, D.C. that have been there too long really have lost touch with the American people. You know, when power is consolidated in Washington, D.C., that benefits the politicians up there. They're afraid to lose that spending control. They're afraid to lose that which they have amassed over a period of, countless years. But there's a paradigm shift. I got to tell you, the people that you send to Washington, D.C., they're a reflection of you. They're a reflection of me. And if we don't understand, once again, that this is a republic, it's a representative democracy, the power that you have is so important. And let me dovetail off to something else. What do you think is the most important body politic in the United States of America in Washington, D.C.? It's the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is the most important body politic. When you get a chance, go home tonight and read the powers that the House of Representatives have. That's the people's house. That's your voice. That's why the founding fathers set it up that every 2 years, if you wanted to have a direct impact and change in the federal government, you did it in the House of Representatives. That's the most important place for your voice to be heard. The purse strings is controlled there. That's where you've got to start calling and getting people to be responsive to what your desires and your will is.
Well, Congressman, with that in mind, this comes from Ron in Coconut Creek. Now, I've stacked it on this house at once. Is there any chance you'd run for president in 2012?
Ladies and gentlemen, we worked real hard to win this congressional race in 2010. Let me be a congressman. I just talked to you about how important it is to be in the House of Representatives. What did you say? But, I just told you how important it is to be in the House of Representatives. But the thing is this, the American people have really diminished the role of a congressman. You don't understand how important it is. You don't understand that the simple little card that I carry right here is the representation of about 700,000 people. That's power. And that's the thing that I wanted. I want to be a good congressman. I want to be a capable legislator. I want to be an American statesman. I've been a congressman for 107 days. And I've been counting. I made a promise to the people in Congressional District 22 that I would go be your congressman. I'm not going to break that promise. I'm not going to turn my back on it. And I'm not going to, fall into this trap of a cult of personality. I've done some good things in my life, but it's not the time for me to be considering this. The most important place I need to be is in the House of Representatives. The most important thing I need to prove, is that I can win a re-election.
This one comes from Fern and Margate. How can we stop all of this foreign aid?
Well, it's very simple. The head of the House Foreign Affairs Committee is a Florida congressperson, Ileana Ross Lake. How many people know that you have 3 chairmen of House committees in the state of Florida? Chairman Micah, Transportation and Infrastructure, Chairman Jeff Miller, Veterans Affairs, and Ileana Ross Lake. But even if you were to eradicate all foreign aid spending in the United States of America, that comes up to about 3% of our budget. Okay? it's a lot of money, but it's just a very small chink in what we have to contend with. Now, I will tell you, there are some places that we should not be sending our resources. And so that's one of the things we have to look at.
This question comes from Art in Pompano Beach. A number of questions along the same lines. Are you willing to vote against raising the debt ceiling?
You know, this is what I told people for quite some time. The most important thing about the debt ceiling is that we have to show that we are going to be fiscally responsible. And I just want to read something. Where is it? Increasing America's debt weakens us domestically and internationally. Leadership means that the buck stops here. Instead, Washington is shifting the burden of bad choices today onto the backs of our children and grandchildren. America has a debt problem and a failure of leadership. Americans deserve better. Senator Barack Obama. That is what he said in 2006 when he voted against the debt limit. But he was just asked about why did he now all of a sudden want to raise the debt limit. He said that his vote back in 2006 was a political vote. This is what has to happen. I believe that there are 4 conditions that have to be implemented if we're going to raise the debt ceiling. Because if we don't do this, then the debt ceiling is nothing but a debt suggestion or a debt recommendation. This is the 73rd or 74th time it's come up. You've got to have a balanced budget amendment for the federal government. You've got to cap federal government spending at 20%, which keeps it from going to where it is 24, 25 and on high. This is a great opportunity where we can cut the corporate business tax rate, 35%, the second highest in the world, so that we can get these businesses to come back to the United States of America, invest here, and invest in the human capital called the American worker. We need to cut it from 35%, I think, down to 20 to 22%. No more loopholes. And the 4th condition, I think, is absolutely critical. Anytime you are within a certain percentage of reaching the debt ceiling, automatic spending cuts should kick in. There needs to be a trigger control mechanism so that